Welcome to All Ball. Format unique, all access for all y'all. What the spiel like? Back full of elite athletes that wanna teach and it speaks to the streets, so it feel right. Marcus Liberty, a legend on and off the court to give you what you need. Robert Reed is your co-host. Go. Yeah. Like and subscribe and follow like a crossover. Never know what might fall through this bitch tomorrow. So All Ball Chicago. All Ball Chicago. All Ball Chicago. Cause all I know is All Ball Chicago. All Ball Chicago. All Ball Chicago. All Ball Chicago. Cause all I know is All Ball Chicago.
Welcome to another edition of All Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All-American, the Parade All-American, the All-City All-Stater, multiple time champ, man. Give it up to my man, Marcus Liberty. What's up, Marcus?
What's up, my beautiful people? Man,
I would just go name off all your stuff, G. You know, I'm gonna give you your roses, man. Let me just say this to you real quick, man.
Yeah.
And I wanted to catch you off guard with this, man.
Okay.
How much you mean to this city? We don't have. It's always been. I put this out there yesterday. It's always been Cox versus Hambrick, Liv versus Ben, King versus Simeon. We don't have Cox anymore. We don't have Hambrick anymore. We don't have Ben anymore. But we still got you, big fella. Man, we want you to know we appreciate you, man, and what you done. And we're not dividing any of y'all. We're not splitting hairs. That's what I want to tell anybody that's watching this show. They always trying to come to me trying to split hairs. We still got you. We appreciate all the other guys that was with us. Give you your roses. All right, let's go, Liv.
Man, no, I appreciate that, though, for real, man, because me growing up in Chicago, in the inner city of Chicago, man, in the projects, in the Chicago Housing Authority, man, getting an opportunity to play the game of basketball, went from street ball to high school, to organized college basketball, to making it to the NBA, and then even going overseas and playing. It was a certain way I had to carry myself, and I knew that I was representing my family and my neighborhood is in a certain way, right? Because they the one helped support me to get me to where I was, man. My family and my friends, man, the people that grew up who truly cared about me. And if I stepped outside of that, or some things that I shouldn't have been doing or not doing right, my mom and my dad and my brothers, they would let me know. You know, even though my older brothers, they were in the streets a lot, they made sure that I wasn't that dude that's going to cross that line and go out there in the streets and do the wrong thing.
And that's a good segue to what we want to talk about. And, you know, I was in your ear the other day about it. I was like, Liv, you need to talk about this.
Right.
You need to talk about this superstar stuff, man, that the social ills that go with being this superstar athlete.
Right.
And maintaining the fine line with the gang affiliation, that tough shit, in this career that you got over here.
Yeah. Because
you had to deal with them dope boys and the boys trying to throw you shit. Come on now.
Oh, no question, man. I mean, my uncle, I had cousins and they were in that game, you know, and I was afraid to take anything from anybody that was involved in, you know, the drug game, because I knew it was consequences behind that. I could be guilty by association. They could think I was selling dope or doing certain things. So I had to separate myself, even though that was, you know, coming from an inner city kid and coming from the projects, that you see that limelight, that, man, they got the fancy cars, they got the big diamond rings and the earrings in their ear and all the clothes and the jewelry. You want to see it and you want to say, I want that, but there's ways that you can get that, right? And I was never into the fancy, you know, big diamonds and all that bling bling anyway, but because I think that brings more attention to you, right? But I was taught at a young age, think before you do. My mom, they put that in me when I was young, man. Think before you do it, you know, because there's consequences behind your actions. And,
hey, that little thing sit right there on your shoulder.
Hey, you gotta think, boy. You don't want to make your mom and dad, you know. I just didn't want to disappoint my parents. You know,
That's the long and the short of it.
yeah, I didn't want to disappoint my parents, man. But it has been some things that's been going around, man, lately, and with social media, it's easy to get it to that information, like the situation that happened in Memphis with JaMorant. And me and you kind of talked a little bit about it off air, but I did want to talk a little bit about, for one, how you carry yourself. And I know sometimes egos get in the way,
Right.
of our star athletes, of people who, have a lot of money, and then you carry weapons, along with that. Now, we all know what you carry a gun for, right? What do you really carry a gun for? And that's for protection, right? So if I have a gun, I don't need to wave it around on social media to let everybody know I have it, right? And I don't think he was trying to be, that bad person, but I think he wasn't really thinking it through, and it's rules. You hear that, Robbie? It's rules that once you sign an NBA contract, you have to look through that fine line, or have your agent make sure he reads that to you so you can understand that if you do this, this could happen. You can lose your contract. Your contract can be voided, right? But I don't think we as a people understand reading things all the way through, not just, man, I signed a contract, but reading it all the way through, understanding that for your action, there's going to be consequences, because this is a job. The NBA is giving you an opportunity to work, right? And make a whole lot of what?
Money.
A whole lot of money, right? So if both sides agree, meaning the Players Association and the NBA agrees, and you sign off, the Players Association signs off on this, that you're not allowed to have a gun on any NBA property, then you're going to have to deal with the consequences that's going to come behind that. And that's what I think is happening right now. And that's why it's taking so long for the NBA to come back, because now you're being investigated, and they want to know how that weapon got in your hands.
It's a whole lot to unwrap, man, because I don't think that JaMorant really understood the extent of what he was getting himself into over the course of this last month or two. And for some reason, he thought it was a game. And I'm going to be a little bit more tough on him, because you don't have guys pulling guns on other teams on the bus. You don't pull guns on 17-year-old kids because you're at your house playing a basketball game, and now you at a private session in another city with a bunch of women in there, and you pull out another gun. So I know our culture and our music, that's all they talk about is guns right now, Lib. So these young guys want to be a part of that culture. JaMorant has put himself in a tough situation. I don't think we're going to see him for a long time.
Yeah, and it's sad to say, because I do believe that us as athletes should start thinking about being role models, because you're making a whole lot of money, and it's some kids that's actually looking up to you and want to say, I want to be like him, right? But when they start reading negativity and asking questions to their parents, why did that happen? Why did he carry that? Mom, why is he flashing a weapon on social media? Now the kid is confused. Is he trying to be a gangster? Is he, because they still watching television, and they got a lot of stuff on television that's people carrying guns, but they seeing bullets and people getting hurt and injured on that. So he's waving the gun, so the kids could be thinking, why is he doing that? Is he trying to kill somebody?
Right. Right.
And he could be just having it just to show that he has a weapon. And I think that within itself is bad, because if you got a gun, 9 times out of 10, people are going to look at you as the villain, like you're out to do something wrong or harm to somebody. Now, there's some people out there, I just saw it on social media, Bob, that says, man, how you know what he's going through? He could be using that for having that for protection, right? So if I'm making a boatload of money, I'm going to make sure I got security around me. Let them carry the weapons because they, registered their guns and they there to protect me just in case somebody tries to cross the line with me. Because if you have the gun and something pops off and you intoxicated, it's some things that can happen and it could turn out bad because liquor is involved.
We know alcohol is the big demon, Liv.
Yeah.
And he was up in there wasted.
And not only that, Bob, think about it on the other side too, on driving a vehicle. You're drinking,
Right.
you're going out. I done seen people and ex-athletes get in bad car accidents and kill someone in the other car.
Yeah. And your man died for Minnesota after drinking. But also they called Book Night last year, sleeping in his car with a 9 in his waist. Remember him? Book Night, the kid that does. So you know what? We gotta ask the question. These guys are young millionaires. The music is all about guns. This is who they are, Liv.
Yeah.
We gotta stop hiding behind it. This is who we dealing with. This is that generation that plays with guns. And now every NBA team in the league gotta start. They gotta put the hand down because I'm sure it's other guys who doing the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, he
just got caught. He just did the dummy and showed it on the video.
Yeah, and just signed a big contract. Has a daughter. Has a small child. That's that he's raising. And I think about all this stuff, man, because JaMorant, I think, has like unbelievable talent, right? Unbelievable talent, and he came out publicly and said, he's apologetic about what his actions have caused. And he's dealing with, stress, but I think if he would have actually thought about it before he, put the gun in his bag or whatever he was carrying it in, that, man, if I get caught with this, it's a good chance that I can get fined, I can get suspended from the NBA, I can actually take food off the table for my daughter, right? My family won't be able to live the way they once lived because of what I just made, the type of money I made and I'm about to make. And I think it actually not only hurts him, but it hurts the others around it, even his entourage, the people that I know. We talk about entourages a lot. You know what, Bob? Let's bring your boy on, man. He's here waiting, man.
Let's go. Jamar, let's go, man. I got him.
There he
welcome to the show, man. I want to introduce my man here, super agent, man. The man is doing his own thing. He's doing it with football. He's doing it with basketball, man. I met him online, man. He's been taking care of my son, Jay Reed. He's his agent. He was JD Trish's Academy. Give it up to my man, Jamar. Jamar, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I don't think you can hear.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you now. How's it going, man?
What's going on, Jamar? I just did your intro. You didn't hear it, man. But welcome to the show. What's up, big dog?
Hey, man. Can't complain, man. God is good, man.
Man, I want to introduce you to my man, Marcus Liberty. Of course, you know Marcus Liberty, the NBA legend. He the McDonald All-American. He Mr. Everything. It's my boy, Marcus, man. Marcus, meet Jamar, man. What's going on with it?
What's happening, Jamar? What's happening, my brother?
Doing good, man. How are you guys doing, man?
Good, man. Just talking about the situation, but we all good. We talking about the situation and you're an agent, so when you represent it, we're gonna jump right in with you. When you're representing clients, man, and they have these contracts, and a lot of athletes, I'm just gonna say it, we don't read that stuff all the way through. Right, we just looking at what the pay scale, when we're gonna get paid, what day, what month, right, and how much money it is. Now, is it your job or is it the athlete's job to make sure that they read the fine print all the way through?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, man, we are responsible for our own actions. So, I mean, but as an agent, you're kind of like a father figure to your clients. a lot of these guys don't have any experience playing pro ball. So when they finally get an experience, you can't really expect them to understand the ins and outs. A lot of times, I tell guys as well, man, when you play ball overseas, the contract may look nice, but I mean, do you have health insurance? Are they paying for your round trip? You know, if something were to happen where you get late payment, how are you going to go about doing that? I had a situation, I think it was last year, the year before last, had a couple guys in Ukraine, you know, and stuff's going on. Teams was threatening them, telling them they leave or early during the season, they were going to like blacklist them and, you know, keep them, suspend their FIBA license. So you gotta understand, man, it's a lot of stuff that goes on legally behind closed doors, man. Guys got to really be locked in for it. I mean, the opportunity is great, but you don't want to leave prematurely and end up screwing yourself in the end.
Wow. Yeah, and also I didn't see certain things like this happen overseas too, Bob, that an accident happened at a nightclub. One of the American players were over there and got into a bad car accident and it actually killed someone. You remember that story? It was a story. I don't know. I can't remember the name, but it happens. You know, it happens everywhere. You know, and what we have to do is, for one, educate ourselves, and that's why I think it's so important to have mentors in each one of those fields. Like maybe, you know, you have someone in college that been there and done that, that's coming in and speaking to universities about the do's and don'ts of what can happen if you drink, what can happen if you use drugs, what can happen if you bring a weapon. Talk about those things and give them scenarios of people who came before and actually got caught up in those situations. Let them speak upon that. I think it could start helping people understand, if I have a weapon, if I drink and I get behind the wheel, this is what can happen. I can get, you know, a DUI. I can actually kill someone. I actually can hurt myself, you know. And then when you get the weapons, you can talk about the same thing with the weapons. Well, so I think it's a lot that needs to be out there to help us athletes understand what's at stake when you start doing those certain things.
Yeah, man, because overseas, man, they don't care about you not understanding the law. They'll you Guantanamo Bay.
They execute you to the full extent of the law, man.
They do not care, man. I'm especially, man, in South America, Latin America, you know, Australia, and these guys, they go over these places, man. They have the mentality that America is America everywhere. They don't care about you being American anywhere else outside of America. So,
wow.
Hey, Jamar, you want to answer that question? Do y'all think JaMorant was rebelling because all the stuff that came out a few days before that went IG live, posted gun? How much is Morant responsible?
Man, at the end of the day, I don't think he was rebelling, man. I really believe he don't have good people around him. I mean, because realistically, man, when you're in that spotlight, you're going to have to carry some protection. So, I mean, I don't care what nobody say. When you at that level, you need some protection. I mean, Paul Pierce got stabbed. I mean, that happens to a lot of athletes. They don't talk about it, but it happens a lot. He just needs better people around him to make sure he's at the, you know, the public eye, because unfortunately, a lot of people don't experience that or have that type of level of success, so they won't never understand, you know, what goes into everyday life. Right. People say he's acting hard. I mean, he's not really acting hard. He's trying to protect himself, you know, because when you don't protect yourself, that's when people try to get you. So, you know, you got to really.
Now, I agree with you on some of those things, but I just personally think if I'm going to protect myself, I'm going to protect myself. I don't need to let everybody know that I have that.
Oh, yeah, no.
I don't, and I think that's what people are more so talking about and concerned about. Why get on social media and wave it and dance with it and let people know that you actually have a gun? So it's two things that I've learned by just watching that, right? That one, you have a family, right? And your family, your little girl has to go to school. And you know, parents are talking about it, and the kid might pick up something and says, your dad got caught with a gun. And you don't know how that's going to make that little girl feel. Right. So I just think that it's more to it that, you know, and I think we need to talk about it. And when Bob mentioned and said, man, we need to talk about, you know, this, I wasn't saying I want to come on and talk bad about JaMorant. I'm thinking, how can we help the situation so the next young man don't go through the same things that just happened to him.
Yeah, man. Social media presence is the biggest thing. I mean, guys sometimes get in the mindset of I gotta show people so they know to leave me alone, which is really kind of backwards. You're supposed to just move about your business, man, and just do what you do. So
let's get your thoughts, JaMorant. Is he a hood cat? Is JaMorant part of the problem?
Oh my God, man. I wouldn't say he's a hood cat, man. I think he's more of a young man trying to how do you say, be in a position to where people won't try him. I think his dad should probably talk to him more. As again, I'm a father myself, but at the end of the day, man, I think he maybe has too much stuff get to his head, man. His daddy should sit him down and really talk to him man to man. Like, you really, I ain't gonna lie, man. You worth $200 million, man. Ain't too much banking you can really do, man. I mean,
Think about this. Think about this, guys. JaMorant is 23 years old, right? And a millionaire, right? He has a whole lot of money. And that's what we're talking about when I say go back to what we were talking about getting mentors, right? His father never made that type of money, right? So his father is basically saying, I'm not speaking for him, but shit, I'm going for the ride. Shit, my son is successful. I got floor seats. A lot of people can't handle success, right? And if you think about it, right, money is the root of what?
The love of money.
Right, the love of money.
It's the love of money.
The love of money could hurt a lot of people, because if you start chasing and loving the money, that's what you in it for, right? I think on the flip side of it, money is to provide for my family and generations to come, right? That's how I look at it. So if I was in that boat and I had this money, my first thing is I'm going to see how can I make sure that my family is taken care of, not my friends. How can I make sure my mom, my dad, and my children are set, right? Now, I'm going to interview because now I'm on a whole nother level. I'm not streets no more. I'm not playing street basketball no more. I signed a contract. You can't mix the two. Street ball is street ball, and now you're in the organization called the NBA, right? So it's contracts need to be signed. It's negotiations. It's things that you got to read, fine line print. You got to read that to understand that something can happen if I break these rules that the NBA has in place. And I think what happened with JaMorant, along with his father, they didn't know, right, that if I act a certain way, they thought they can move how they want to move, because look, he just signed a big deal, a big contract. So that's when I start talking, and I share this with a lot of my friends, the egos that some athletes have is that I'm bigger than what, people may think. For instance, Bob, didn't we talk about this? What's that dance that he was doing?
The Giddy.
The Giddy, right? The Giddy.
He made Giddy a lot of money, though. He made that damn rapper a lot of goddamn money, boy.
I didn't even know who Giddy was
until he started
to watch him do it.
JaMorant got everybody doing
it. So my thing is, that's another part to stroke his ego. Man, he didn't make it popular. I did. Right? So we just got to be very careful, man, of how we raise our young men, women, to be prepared for certain situations, because you can make a lot of money and you can lose a lot of money just like that. Right.
Hey, let me hop in real quick, Liv. I want to say this, though. As a 21, 22-year-old Bobby Reed coming from Roseland, hey, man, I got $200 million. All them Negroes that I knew back there, no matter how far you gone, you're not that far removed. I'm sure he probably was still connected to a lot of those guys in South Carolina, fellas. And we know it's some undesirables in South Carolina. So he's not that far removed from that, man. But they say JaMorant grew up in a two-parent home. That don't make it that much better. There's so many police kids out here that's bad as hell. So how do how do you go living from the suburbs to now being how he is? Then you got Jason Tatum, whose mom and son in front row, but you never see Jason act like that. And he from the dirt growing up. What you got, Jamar?
I mean, everybody handles situations differently, man. I mean, at the end of the day, all I can say is, as a grown man, take care of your mama, your kids, you know, your boys. I mean, who you supposed to have, but you know, that two-parent ideology, man. I mean, you can grow up in a two-parent home, but if your mama abusing your daddy or your daddy knocking your mama's teeth out, I mean, you hit the streets and trying to take care of stuff, man. I mean, a lot of stuff goes on in those households that no one knows about, man. So
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I'll jump in too on that, Bob. That, you know, just because you have a two-parent home, it doesn't mean that you're gonna turn out to be a certain way either, right? I know plenty of single moms that raise their child to be something special, and they are special, and they doing special things, right? I just think when we get in certain situations, meaning we making a whole lot of money, it changes the game. It changes your mind. It changes the people around you that thinks that we made it. You know, when you don't block that out immediately, Bob, when you hear people around you say we made it, then they feel that they get a piece of that.
Well, Liv, you went through it when you went to the league, right?
No, man, I ain't had nobody really coming at me like that, right?
Okay.
I had a couple of good friends, man, that I love and respect. And if they ever asked me for something when I was making that type of money, I would lend my hand to them. But I would make sure they pay me back.
You wanted it back.
Man, ain't no free rides, no free rides. But back to what we was talking about with the two-parent and the difference between Jason Tatum and him is Jason Tatum understood that, man, I got a family that I have to support. I mean, he's taking care of his mom. I'm pretty sure he's taking care of his dad. I'm pretty sure he's taking care of his son. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing, which is to take care of his family. He may be taking care of his entourage too, you know, and people always knocking the entourages. There's some entourages like the LeBron James have that's very successful, right? It's doing the right things and making sure this and that. I think what happens, you know, JaMorant, unfortunately, he got drafted by Memphis, right? When you get drafted by Memphis, you got your inner city who loves Memphis basketball, right? They love Memphis basketball. They love Penny Hardaway. And I know for sure they love JaMorant, right? And you got the entertainment that goes in that entertainment district, the rappers. You know, I remember a rapper after one game gave him a big diamond necklace with I don't know what it said on it, but they handed it to him after the game.
I think that was Moneybag Yo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gave him that necklace, right? And it had a lot of bling bling on it. Right. Did he need that? No, he didn't need that, but the guy gave it to him. You know, so my thing is what happens is when that man needs some money and he's broke, guess where he's going? He's coming back to you, man. Hey, man, you remember I gave you that, man? I need that back times 10, right? Because most rappers got that street cred already. You don't get that money back, man, it could be some problems.
That's sad, man.
So my point is, man, we just got to be careful, man, who we hang around, man, and what we do, man. When we start making a lot of money, we definitely have to start thinking about who we associate ourselves with.
That's a good segue, man, to be able to bring Jamar in on what he got going on in Chicago, because he's trying to get some pro athletes some jobs, Liv, for that Brazilian team he got putting together. So, without further ado, Jamar, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, man. So, me and my partner, man, Devontae Archer, man, Chicago native, man, going to be back in the city. We'll actually be in Romeoville, April 14th. Hosting a trial. So the trials is more from this team is for the multiple teams within the league, as well as teams in, you know, the Caribbean, Latin America, South America, and Asia. So grateful for you, man, because I got your son, Jordan. He's a real ball handler. You know,
Thanks,
got him playing the point. So we already signed Jordan. So he actually leaves to come out there to play the last week of July.
Okay.
So, right now we're still looking for more guys as well for our team as well as the others within the league. So what happens is me and Devontae Archer, we're the American liaisons. So basically we come over there to the States and then we host workouts for the teams within the conference. Now the season goes from March until November as well, but each team has a different time schedule to where they will allow their Americans to come in and play. With being our season, we already have the Brazilians getting ready for, there's like multiple seasons within that one league. So the Americans for the actual championship coming towards the last 3 to 4 months of the season to prepare to take over. So, based upon what we got right now, the franchise is in Jordan's hands, man. The guys we got, the Brazilian guys, they're just tall, strong, athletic. They gotta learn how to shoot.
Right.
We need somebody to be James Jones, man, because we can't.
So what are you looking for when you come up this way? Okay, go ahead, Lib.
Now I'm going to talk about it because this is what the athlete's going to say. What that money looking like?
The money, for the IRS purposes, if you play good, you get paid good. I'm not going to say the number on air,
right?
Yeah,
because people, you know how people are, man.
I know they are.
They like, man, I ain't going over there, man. I'm not going over there for no $50,000, man. And they don't understand. They don't understand that the Europeans now are just like kind of like a pay scale, just like the NBA is kind of in certain ways, right? That you're a rookie, you're not gonna get that big money right off the top. You got to show, you got to prove yourself, and then eventually you can move up the ladder. But it is some college superstars that proven themselves, and they will throw that money to you. But if you're coming out from small schools and this and that, it's going to be hard for you to get the big bucks right off the top.
If you come from a small school, what's going to happen is they'll give you a proven contract. So you prove yourself, then they give you real money. Mm-hmm. So, for example, let's just say you come out of college and you come from a D2 or D3, and they kind of like, okay, are you worth the investment? We'll give you $2,500, $3,000 a month. To come play ball. You play for about 3 or 4 months, and then if you do well, you're already out here. So we don't have to pay for your lodging. We don't have to pay for your housing because you're already in the community. What a lot of times teams, they try to keep you on longer so that you can become a naturalized citizen. They have a process for that as well. Then you won't count as an import.
Wow.
Then you get paid more money. That's why a lot of guys go over there and they get married.
That's what I was just going to say. I said that. Yeah, I said that yesterday. Yeah.
He said those guys went over to Brazil, boy. He said, man, they got married over there.
You get paid way more money, and you are part of the actual niche of the people. So,
how many guys are you looking to get, Jamar? You trying to get like 10 to 15 guys?
I'm really trying to get about 12 because realistically, what's going to happen is, those top 12 guys that I'm bringing in, they are real game changers. They're going to get compensated well. But at the end of the day, all I ask for is these guys, man, you come overseas, do not. Oh, no, man. Jordan, he a real ball player, man. I watched him play, man, as well in college. And it was at West Cliff in Chicago State. He can really go. The biggest thing with him, man, is just opportunities, man. I was confused when I first met him about, a year and a half ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about a year and a half ago, what was going on, man. But COVID and unfortunately, man, you can get caught up in the system, especially basketball, man. If you don't know certain people, and it's kind of like, well, you don't exist. When he played at Westcliff, he had a couple good games, man. 19, 20, really just showing he could score. But I can tell within that system, they wanted him to be more like a ball handler and a facilitator. They didn't really want him to go out of his range. One thing I see also in college ball a lot is sometimes guys are too fast for the game. They just too slow plays. Not everybody can be the Spurs, man. So some guys are just so fast, but the coaches can't adjust. And that's the biggest thing, adjustments.
There you go, Ron. He said, act like I'm not on here. Jamar, he's a judge of talent. And similar in nature, and this is Jordan calling me right now, similar in nature to live with his nephew. Javon Carter, Javon Freeman Liberty that's playing with Windy City Bulls. The kid led the doggone Big East in scoring. He was faster than the game. And it was just one of those things, right, Lib?
Right. No, I mean, no, Javon is just so everybody road to success or to NBA or to money or to playing basketball and being able to support your family is different than other people. Everybody's road to that is not the same. Some people really got to grind it out. Some people get blessed and lucky and it happens, and they have, opportunities to get drafted and make money. And then you got some people that get drafted and don't appreciate it or don't know how to appreciate it, right? And then they get out of the league in 1 or 2 years. So it's kind of a touchy subject that people really don't talk about as much because a lot of people haven't been there, done that. I take me for instance. I wasn't thinking about going to the NBA or anything like that. It's just my junior year. I had a very successful junior year. I averaged almost 18 points and almost 7-8 rebounds a game. And I said, man, why not? It's a chance for me to be able to support my family. And of course, the backlash that I got was, why did you leave so early? You could have stayed for your senior year. You came back, you would have been a lottery pick. I don't know that. What if I got hurt? I don't know what could have happened. So I bet it on myself. And luckily enough, I was able to get drafted in the second round and not only get drafted, but stayed for 4 years, And then I played overseas for another 6 years. Did I want to play in the NBA longer? Yeah, but it's hard, man. You got new people coming every year, so it's hard to maintain that drive because the longer you stay, the more you're thinking about, it's all about the money. It's all about the money, so the love starts to fade away a little bit. Because you actually was playing it because you loved it. But when that money started coming, the greed, you start thinking about the money, and then you tend to forget what actually got you there.
Yeah, I was watching Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, and you saw it probably, Jamar, how he said that he fell out of love with the game. And I noticed the premise behind J.D. Trench's Academy was you always looking for the underdog. Even with the football guys, you always find those diamond in the rough. What made you fall in love with doing that?
Well, honestly, man, I came from a small town, Fayetteville, North Carolina. So I was already used to trying to make a way for myself, without having a lot of eyes on myself, man. And it's always been a passion for me, to try to find guys who are diamonds in the rough. You can look at, especially for football, man, I'm going to sign about 15 dudes to the league. And out of the 15, I think about 12 came from really JUCO, D2, D3. I had a couple here and there who played like, Alabama and Oklahoma and Texas Tech. But other than that, my real niche is trying to find dudes who, on the radar. Because realistically, I don't really get any joy in the filming and trying to find dudes who are already SEC, Big Ten, top scorers of the year, players. They're supposed to go. It's the guys who come from like schools like Roosevelt, schools like that, man. Like, oh man, where'd he come from? Why is he there? What's his story? It gave me like a purpose. So, did you play sports?
So your thing, your organization, your agency, you guys are looking for that unsung, that diamond in the rough that people may say, you know what? He went to Roosevelt. I ain't trying to get him. Right. And then he turns out to be that dog that, man, where did he come from? Oh, man, he went to Roosevelt. He got overlooked in college. He had to go to this school. And now he's getting looked over to the NBA. He had to go to this market overseas. And now he's making a whole lot of money. Right. He's taking care of his family. But I know you won't turn down a guy that reaches out to you and says, man, I was the SEC player of the year, man. Can I come over there and rock with you? I like what you're doing.
Yeah, right. That's why I say I have a good medium. My heart, I feel for the dudes like myself who I can, sympathize with, but I do have a good handful of dudes who are already, top names.
Right. And you just don't do basketball. You do football too.
Oh, no, I do. So we do football, basketball. We do professional fighting, like MMA, boxing. We also scout for the Olympic rugby team for Team USA.
Okay.
And what was one more else? In soccer.
Oh, in soccer. Wow.
Yeah. So we do hands and everything. We're trying to really keep our hands in everything so we can help more than just one set of people, because sometimes, guys, they may be 6'7", 240 pounds, and they won't play ball, but you can't rebound or shoot. Hey,
Wow.
you throw a left hook, I can teach you how to fight somebody.
Wow. Yeah. So what that one talking about, Bob?
No, you know what? I didn't want to miss that other question. She asked you, did you play sports in school? Then we'll get to Marcus Carroll because he.
Yeah, so I played football and also did track and field as well in school. And I was a lot smaller back in high school. I started playing ball full time in college and had to gain real weight. So.
Okay.
Okay, your boy Marcus Carroll. Spoiled millionaires, brats that get glorified by other circles instead of looking out for them and just living the champagne life. Sha'Carri Richards got sent back to the starting point and is having to climb the mountain all over again.
I haven't read up on him yet. Now,
I don't know who Sha'Carri Richardson is either.
Yeah. Marcus Carroll is a friend of mine from Houston, man, and good dude. All about giving back, trying to help the next generation. Got some good points, man, that people, when we make that money, man, we talked about it earlier, that it's hard to cut some of these people loose because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Everybody, it's like what one of the guys said on one of the podcasts, that everybody can't go up to the top of the mountain with you. Some of them gonna slip by the wayside and fall off, and you just keep moving, but it's hard for people to do that, Bob, because they feel that I'm letting the hood down if I don't do that. And some people don't have that same mindset. They can't separate the two. That what you did in the streets, now you're part of this, and you can't do that when you're being represented by a big brand like the NBA, Nike, and Gatorade and Pepsi and whoever else who wants to throw money at these athletes. So you got to understand what comes along with that. And if you don't, you need to hire somebody to explain it to you so you know what's going on, because it can hurt you in the long run, man. Well, not even in the long run, in the short run. You can have a short run at this and it'd be all over.
Oh, it's definitely a lot of people have those short runs, and it's sad. But I know we don't want to hold Jamar too much longer. Jamar, I don't know how much time you got. How can people get in touch with you to be able to register for this event, man, and stuff like that?
So they can follow us on jdtrenchesacademy.com. I'm sorry, JD Trenches Academy. Just the way it sounds as well on Instagram. They can also email us as well at I can put it in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, you can just drop it in the chat. And also, I'm posting it on my page, man, to make sure it get out there. And then I'd already reached out to a few schools, so you know how it go. As it get closer, you're going to get people walking up. And then I also referee at this tournament on Sundays. So I want to get the flyer printed out because there's hundreds of athletes in there. They're young guys. And I'm sure they still aspiring to be able to play professionally. So it's a lot. Sha'Carri, okay, the track and field girl. Yeah. Oh, the one that got caught smoking weed.
Oh, okay. There we go. I know somebody will come up with it and help us out. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah,
man. So make sure y'all go over there and follow Jamar, man, over there at JD Trenches Academy on Instagram.
Jamar, make sure, man, you inbox me, some stuff too. I would like for you to come down this way too, man, if you got those connections, man, because kids love to play basketball everywhere and they want opportunities. It's kids that if we market it up and down Florida, that you can get kids from Tampa, Orlando. I'm right in the middle, so
I actually have to go to FAMU at the end of the month. I got to go to a couple of pro days.
Oh, down in Tallahassee. All right.
Yeah, so I'm actually leaving in a couple of weeks to go down to Florida to recruit some kids as well.
Okay.
Pro days.
Okay. Yeah. So, man, if I know Tallahassee is probably about a 5-hour drive from me, but if you ever come closer to Tampa in that area, man, let me know. And or if you want to talk about something, how we can, work together and make, something happen here in Florida, I think you can do it, man. So,
okay,
we definitely just inbox me your info. So yeah, man, we appreciate you coming on, and I know it was short notice. And anytime you want to come on and talk, about what you're doing, and we love to help, brothers like yourself who's trying to, do his thing and help young athletes, especially young Black athletes, be successful, make some money, playing the things or doing the things that you love to do, and have an opportunity to support your family. So definitely, we would love to have you back on.
I really appreciate it. I look forward to, especially seeing Jordan get us a championship this year.
Man.
And we're gonna have Bobby get Jordan on here, so Jordan can talk about his experience of what it looked like when he did that, because I know sometimes Bobby was telling me Jordan broke down, like he didn't want to play ball no more. So
that was one of the biggest things for me too, man, just being able to give him an opportunity, because like I said, like Jordan can really play next level, man. And it hurts seeing someone that talented, not really be in the position he's supposed to be in. But, he went to Mexico at first, play ball. It was a bad situation. Now to be in a position where I can, sign to an organization such as myself, and my partner, Devontae Archer, is really a blessing from God, man. Especially Chicago native, man, really show people overseas, what Chicago's about, especially in basketball. So I'm extremely blessed for that, man.
Man, that's what's up.
Man, I appreciate you, Jamar, man. We're going to definitely get back up with you. We got my man Jamar in the building, man. Thanks for coming on, big dog.
I appreciate it, man. I'll speak to you soon, man.
Absolutely. God bless, dog.
All right, Jamar. All right, man. Peace, brother. My brother. Yeah, man. That was a good one, man.
Almost Chicago, the best show in the world.
You be hollering and screaming. You be blowing my eardrums, dude.
You know what? I got this. Let me see. Yeah. Fellas, did you all see the Google top Chicago players list? I'm sure Robert reads. Yeah, because I put it up. But Marcus, you humble and say don't pay attention to top list. But as a player, your ego is like, yeah, I'm on the list, even though the list may not mean anything. Thoughts on the list, fellas? I posted it, and I'm going to go to the list. And I'm going to tell you, I just Googled top Chicago high school basketball players in Chicago. And this is the list that came up. I'm going to tell you.
All right.
I saw it, and I screenshotted it. So it wasn't no tampering. So we started with, oh, man, this thing's still getting comments. I mean, they still talking about it. It got over 91 comments, man. Number one, they had Isaiah Thomas. Number two, they had Derrick Rose. Number three, they had Mark Aguirre. Number four, they had Marcus Liberty. Number five, they had Jabari Parker. Number six, they had Anthony Davis. 7, Ronnie Fields. 8, Nick Anderson. 9, Antoine Walker. And 10, Eddie Curry. So you really can't argue with too much of. I mean, you could put people in slots all through there, but I mean, and they got some elite guys on here, man.
That was the top what?
Top 10.
Top 10. So yeah, of course we're gonna miss out on some people because it's more than 10 great basketball players in Chicago.
Period.
That it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Now, whoever wrote the story, I always say that, that
it's on Google. Google did it.
Well, whoever did it, right? I'm just saying, whoever did it, they got who they wanted to pick, and it is what it is,
right?
It's sometimes when people put something on me and you shared it with me and say, "Man, how you not on that?" So it's all about the preference and what people think at the time. Do I think it's a lot of great basketball players that I came out of Chicago that was before me, that was with me, that was after me? Yes, but we can't fight what people put out there, man, because you're going to have your own list. There's some people may have a list that it might be people you never even heard of because they created their own list, right? So I wouldn't get so caught up in it, but I appreciate the love, man, that people, given to us, all the people that was on that list. So I'm not knocking it, and we're gonna keep it moving. Yeah, man, Jamar, the young gentleman that was just on here, he has some connections over in Brazil, and I think he is all about trying to help us, us as a race, be successful, There's a lot of agents just not out there like that. You know, they on to the next. If they can't help you, they feel that, you know, I'm gonna cut you loose. You know, you go on and do whatever you need to do. I think when you get into that business, you have to understand your job is to what? Promote that athlete. Your job is to get that athlete the best job that he can get or she can get. That's your job as an agent. Your job is to make sure the contracts are right. Your job is to make sure he gets what he or she deserves. That is your job.
You know, and you know, you've been through this forever. It's just hard finding good people, man. You know,
Right.
Marcus, when you were going through the draft process, did you or other potential draftees go to a class to school you about what to expect and things to look out for when you get to the league?
Most definitely. They have seminars and classes that you have to participate in. Everybody going into the draft, you have to go through certain scenarios that this can happen. They talk about the entourages, of course. They talk about, you know, surrounding yourself around good people. They talk about, but I think, and I'm just gonna say it, I think when kids are going to those type of settings, they trying to get out of there, man. They ain't trying to listen. They ain't, you know. I think it's a way that you have to have a connection where I'm not saying you have to pull everybody to the side, because it is some kids that are actually there listening. Because I was one of those kids and I was actually listening to what was going on and what they was talking about. I mean, they gave scenarios of, they actually gave like it was a movie script. Like they gave you a scenario of this girl walking through the hotel lobby, right? I mean, actually walking through the hotel lobby to see what guys were going to try to talk to her in the NBA, these rookies. And they looking and like, whoa, yo, hey, come here, you know. And then the girl would come back and say, hey, here go my number. And then the girl would say, aren't you married? And the guy would say, no, I ain't married. Here's my number, you know. And so they was having things like that, so guys can understand that it's gonna happen. It's people out here that's actually out there looking to get, you know, pregnant, you know, looking to make a buck off you. So if you don't surround yourself or do the right thing, this is what could happen to you. And then they didn't talk about weapons as much when I was coming up, but I'm sure they're talking about it a lot now, about having weapons in your possession.
Well, I tell you what, there's no doubt right now that JaMorant done messed up the church's money. I know them boys around the NBA like, man, now this fool done pulled his gun out, now they on high. Man, come on, man, because I'm sure all them dudes strapped up. They riding in the finest whips. They got plenty of money and all of that. So you got to have something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, hey, man, you got to do it with class. And like we always say, do it the right way. Go get the concealed carry if you got to carry it. And, you know, make sure you just.
But Bob, I think he had all that. I really do. I think he had all that. But that's what I was talking about is rules now.
Right.
NBA set up rules now that you can't carry a weapon on the premises of any NBA arenas or airplanes. These are owned by NBA teams, you know. So it is what it is, man. And I just hope and pray that JaMorant comes back, be a spokesperson to understand that it's consequences that can come with the actions of you doing things that's not right, right? Meaning posting things that can jeopardize your career. And I'm not even talking just about sports, Bob. You know how many people, Bobby Reed, that lost their jobs because of what they post on social media?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Think about that.
Yeah, man. They watching you on there. They watching you all the time, man. That's why I'm glad I'm my own boss. You can't fire me. So how many games would Job miss? My pop said it would be about 20 to 30 games because Gilbert Arenas missed 30 games. You know what, Pooh? I think that they talking about 50, but for me, I wish they would just give him a month off and then bring him back and let him go publicly and apologize. So it's swift, and it's not like they just gonna try to put their head. It wasn't like he was somewhere busting at nobody with the strap. You feel me? He just partying. Like, okay, yeah, he bought it on the plane, and maybe he bought it when he got there. They don't know.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know.
Exactly.
So I don't think that this requires for him to be kicked out of the league and all of that. But dude, you better slow down.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. It's unfortunate, man, because if it wasn't posted on social media at all, this would never happen, right? It would have never, you would have never heard about it.
Never.
But it was posted on social media, and that's what took it to a whole nother level with people making comments. People want to chime in and say, man, this is what should happen to him. He's young. He made a mistake. Let's try to move on and try to help him if he got the right people around him to help him become a better person on how to carry yourself and not thinking of just yourself, but others who you can actually hurt, which is your family. Yeah,
man. And it's like you heard that phrase because you've been all over this like I have. You heard of that phrase, the New York Minute. Time flying a New York Minute. That's how quick it is that you can get yourself into trouble. It take a second to get yourself into trouble and a lifetime to get yourself out of it. And you will be held accountable for the actions that you do and do not take in your life.
Man, I did it, Bob. I mean, I did some things, man, that I shouldn't have done, and
talk about it. What have you done?
Man, I got a long time ago. It was a long time ago in Denver. I was drinking and driving, and the cop pulled me over and said, man, the reason why I pulled you over, you're driving too slow. And I was like, I'm driving too slow, but I knew I was drinking, right? So I tried to talk my way out of it and this and that. And you know what that officer said to me? Man, we locked John Elway up. I said, oh, I'm done. I said, I'm done, man. I said, but instead of me going to Denver, the Nuggets, and actually telling them what happened, I kept it as a secret. Like I didn't want to embarrass my family and all this, so I kept it a secret. And they were telling me, man, why did you not come to it? You should have came to us so we can help you get out of the situation or help it become, better for you. And right. I didn't do it. I didn't do that, man. So that's one reason why I don't drink to this day now like that, man. If I drink, it's going to be in the comfort of my home, and I'm not going to get behind the wheel.
Right.
But yeah, man. So I learned my lesson the hard way on that one, man. But so I would say, man, people get in trouble. People do things that they shouldn't do. So we got to give JaMorant a chance to really come out publicly one day, and hopefully he'll explain really why he did it, or he might say, forget it. It's behind me. I'm moving forward.
Yeah, and I just hope the NBA is swift. Don't give him 20. Don't give him 30 games. Give him a month off. Let him come back publicly and apologize and be done with it. Because I feel that, okay, yeah, now, if anything, they should have dealt with him when his friends pulled the strap on the bus with those other players. That should have got the most attention.
Wait, so now I don't remember that one.
Yeah, the Indiana, the team in Indiana, some of his teammates put a red beam on some of the players in Indiana when they played after the game.
So Memphis players or JaMorant friends?
JaMorant's friends.
Oh.
Put a red beam on some of the Indiana players when they was getting on the bus.
And you said the NBA didn't do nothing.
They didn't do nothing about that.
Mm.
Was
it he say, she say stuff?
No, it was a known fact. It was a known fact. Yeah, because it was all over the NBA. All of them was talking. Everybody talking about it. Shannon, everybody talking about it, so it was a known fact. And then to now, what you do at your home, or you playing a one-on-one basketball game, I think that's personal. So him and that young kid get into it. We don't know the extent of that, but hey, you know, that's personal. And then the strip club thing inside social media, I think that was pretty much personal. I think the beam with the Indiana, that should have been addressed. All that other stuff is personal. You see what I'm saying? So Ja, I think it should be swift. I don't think they should give him 50 games. I think he should be out for the month and be able to come back at the beginning of the month, give his public apology, put his head down, and go back to work. 23 years old is young, yes, but that is also a big part of the problem as a society keeps putting diapers on folks that don't need diapers. I agree with you too, whoever that person is, because I remember when I was coming out of 8th grade, I was 13 years old playing for Mendel High School. I was on their team, and I had to get up in the morning at 5 o'clock and ride the bus, and it was still dark by myself to school in the dark. So I was being held accountable as an adult in Roseland back then. So it wasn't that bad, you know, people. But you see what I'm saying? The expectations that they had on us back then. If you would ride the bus from the projects, I'm sure, to coming all the way out here, coming out to the hundreds back then, or wherever, downtown. Remember, we used to go everywhere. So why are we giving these kids so much? I agree.
Right. Yeah. Because we don't want, a lot of us don't want to believe that this is happening to our favorite athlete, right? So they tend to turn the cheek, you know. Like I don't want to believe that this just happened to my man, you know. It can't happen to my man, right? So you try to, so that's when you start babying and pacifying and saying, you know what, yeah, man, that's my man. He gonna be all right. He gonna be all right. But like we started off the show with, you know, saying that, you know, it's going to be some consequences behind his action, but we don't want JaMorant to be out of the NBA. We don't.
Man.
We're not saying that's what we want. We want to help someone, you know, because JaMorant just did his thing, but maybe it's another kid out there that's, you know, thinking about, I got to stay with my friends, and this is where I've been, and this is where I'm going to be. I got to keep doing what I've been doing because the streets love me and this and that. And then you get that opportunity to go to the NBA. What do? Do you keep that entourage? Do you let them go? Or do you say, you know what? I'm going to help you become somebody too. I'm going to uplift you too, right? So you from my neighborhood. We're going to start this together, but you got to do this for this to happen. Kind of like what LeBron James did, right? If you want to make money with me, I'm going to show you how to make this money. Go get your degree. Go be a sports agent. Go pick up a trade. You can make all my uniforms for me, my jerseys for me, my T-shirts for me. We're going to come out with a brand. We're going to do it together. It's ways that you can help that kid that came up from the streets with you, but he can't have that same mentality that he had when he was in the streets. You got to change your ways.
It's hard. It is hard, man. I'm
saying, Bob, if it's hard, then you can't be with me. You can't rock with me.
Right. Hey, who Baller Scoop said something that you alluded to earlier when we was on the phone. He said it seemed like T. Moran is now more of JaMorant's friend than his dad. You know, he hanging with him and all of that, kicking it with him. And T. Moran is only 40 years old. Ja 23. I mean, he had it when he was 17.
Oh, wow.
He literally grew up with his son. He can still hoop with his son. You see what I'm saying? Because at 40, I was still nice. I was decent. I got a 23-year-old son in the league. Come on, man. That's good stuff.
Wow, yeah.
Hey, Marcus Carroll said, yeah, you can see the rise and the fall is even faster as his warp speed. Yeah, you're right, man. Brian Notry, high security, you need the tax write-off anyway. Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. Bo Rab, we watching from the barber shop. What's up, Bo Rab? Danny Spencer.
Oh, man.
Just give him the shouts, man.
Courtney, man, she's on you, man, Bob.
Courtney, what you got, Courtney?
You want to see it?
Yeah, I want to see
All
it.
right, this is what Courtney said, man.
Can I bring some laughter to the show? Robert Bobby Reed, I saw a picture in your story or something where you had the camera right between your legs and the shape of your business was showing. You're a bad boy.
Bob, you out there like that, man?
I'm not looking between my legs, man. I'm doing. I know she's talking about when you get down in yoga, they got a position where you sit kind of like a Buddha. You know.
Bobby
Yeah,
Reed. Bobby Reed, my man. Love to have you back on my
Neil
show.
Haley.
Okay. Neil,
that's what's up. Danny say because of Plexico Burrs. Plexico Burrs shot himself.
Right, in New York, right?
What she say? It was hot yoga, but what?
She said it was hot yoga.
It was hot yoga, but why take that picture? I wasn't looking at it like that, Courtney. But you was.
He got you, Courtney. He got you.
Hey, Courtney, come join me for a hot yoga class, man. I get you a free week, man. You come in there and get your therapy on. I told Liv I didn't take it this morning. I kind of felt it because I was snapping on mugs before I came on here. Now I'm just kidding.
Right.
But all ball Chicago is therapeutic for me. I get a chance to come on here and talk basketball with one of my favorite athletes in Chicago. Other than Liv, I would have to say him, Mark Aguirre, Terry Cummins, Isaiah Thomas, Alfredrick Hughes. Those are my favorite, like, Chicago basketball players that I watched growing up. Ben Wilson, of course, Tim Bankston. Who were some of my favorite? Tim Hardaway, Nick Anderson. I like my boy Irvin because Irvin was solid down there. Deion Butler. Yeah, I had a few guys I used to like to watch, even because I went on the team, so I had to sit in the stands and watch. And every time I would watch those games, my palms be sweating. I just want to get out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my hands be sweating at them games. Like, damn, I wish I could play. So yeah, man, that's that high school basketball. Oh, I got to talk about what happened at the pavilion the other night, boy. Simeon put it on Hillcrest. And I want to give a shout out to Simeon, man. They play slow and lethargic, but you got to be attention to detail because if you get tired, they're going to beat you. But I want to talk about that Kenwood game real quick. Kenwood and Glenbard, Downers Grove North. Kenwood came out flat. Downers Grove came out like, oh, yeah? And I didn't know they had just beat Whitney Young, Proviso East, and who else was that? Yeah, but anyway, they had beat all them other schools. I didn't know that. So when they beat Kenwood, they came out in the first quarter, Liv, the score was like 22-8. And everybody's sitting around like, what's going on? We waiting on Kenwood to just, and those boys ran their stuff, man. You know how they run their stuff when they running their stuff. And I don't like their lewd to race. But I'm going to say the white players out there, Caucasian young men out there, was very poised the other night, man. The way that they drove, you know how they drive? Swing it to the other side, get the defense to shifting, and leave somebody. Somebody's always open.
But that's Simeon too, right?
That's what I'm saying.
So Robert, right, Smith, he knows because he's been through it a lot, right?
Right.
That in order to win championships, right, in this generation in Chicago, right, it's not about the super talented kids. It's about the system, right, of how you run your system, right? Because it's not going to be up and down. So us coming from Chicago, we thinking it's going to be fast. We're going to shoot jump shots. We're going to get buckets. We're going to blow by these guys.
We're going to get up into you, too.
Right. But that's not the case because now, or it was even back then when I was playing, it's ball movement and seeing how long you can play defense.
Yeah.
How disciplined can you be, right, when I start moving and doing these back cuts on you, right? You thinking you can go for that steal because we know your mentality is going to be aggressive. Let's get these steals. and they're going back doors for layups.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have to be better coaches, meaning, whoever's coaching these kids, think about how can I change it? I can go fast and run with you, but I also can play that slow game. And that's what Robert Smith is doing at Simeon. He can run with you, but he also can play your type of ball too, your type of style of basketball too. That's why I said I don't want people to think that I'm knocking on Simeon. I love what Robert Smith is doing over at Simeon because he's actually doing it both ways. I can go up and down full pace with you, and I also can slow it down and run my offense and play good defense just like you playing on us.
Yeah. Yeah, and I watched that the other night, Liv, and I was just totally impressed with it because that's what you see when you get to the next level, like the Illinois and all of those schools.
Oh, when it gets tough, when the game gets tough, it's a slow down game.
It's a slow down game. You got to be able to execute.
Yes.
And we know the knock on young players nowadays is they can't defend beyond the 4 to 5 passes.
Right.
After that, they get bored. Right. And then they start gambling.
Right. Trying to speed it up.
And those kids, that's all they did. Slow it down. The one little guard, every time they try to overplay him, he'd drive it to the middle, make the defense sink. He'd kick it back out to the guy at the top. And there was always somebody open over here and over there.
Right. That one more pass.
Hey, man. And I want to say this, and I want to get this out too, man. Far too many people always saying stuff about the Irvins, man, and I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna always like every person that you work with? No. But for what they've been able to do in Chicago and what the foundation that their father been able to land to set for them to continue to keep going as professional young men, it's unparalleled.
Right.
And that deserves an applause, man. So shout out to Mike Irvin, what he went over there and did for Kenwood. Kenwood wasn't prevalent until he got over there. So I want to give him his shout out too, man. Straight up.
Yeah, but I also want to give a shout out to my niece, man. My nieces, they twins. So both of them playing basketball at Michelle Clark on the west side of Chicago. And man, got nominated, man, to top 30, one of the top 30 girls in Chicago, man. So shout out to my niece, Nyla and Tyler. Uncle Mark loves you. And
it's in the blood.
So I'm proud of them, man, too. I don't think they want to take basketball to college or anything. And they had a situation that happened to them. One of their girls that was playing basketball got shot and killed. So she could have easily said, I don't want to play, but I think she's actually doing it for her, like that was her best friend and she got shot and killed. And so she continued to play basketball, man, and do her thing. So I'm proud of my nieces, man, for one, understanding that guns do kill people, but also they lost someone that they truly loved and cared about. So, and they stuck with it and kept playing basketball in the name of their best friend. So
kudos to the young ladies, man. Shout out to them, man.
To Nyla and Tyler, man.
Shout out to them. Y'all see Zion Williamson had a setback again. It's crazy and sad for him. They was at the top of the West when he got hurt. Oh, man, Janetta Johnson, man, until he get his weight under control, and also Zion has to find a way to play that's going to be more efficient to his game. He can't play that style that he played when he was younger. He can't continue to be explosive to the paint and all of that because that's not working for him. Same thing with Derrick Rose. Remember Derrick Rose changed his game? He couldn't do all that high flying no more. And you have to understand, you're only going to be young so long. Yeah. These guys are playing at a fanatic pace. They playing way faster than we played.
But it goes back to what we said a long time ago on one of our shows about how when you roll the ball out and just let kids play and they're not actually teaching and learning the game, right? The fundamentals of the game. How can I score without using all of my athleticism, right? How can I dribble and get by someone without using all these crazy, moves?
Right.
The game really didn't change. The super trainers did, they started putting, these counter dribbles and making it real cool, and they really carrying the ball, and that's what the NBA says, that's our niche now. So you gotta let these guys get away with, doggone well, we couldn't go between our legs and keep that ball in the left hand while we're still moving in a different direction. You couldn't do
Right.
that. That was called
No.
travel, right?
I mean,
But now it's cool to do that. It's okay.
man, they get a euro and another step.
Come on,
Have
man.
you been noticing that?
Yeah.
Like I've been refereeing, and I'm like, dude, that's 3 steps, man.
Yeah, man. So it is what it is.
I think it's
man.
hurting the game. I really do, man.
It is.
And we'll go back to the All-Star game, and I know we got to get off. The All-Star game was trash. If you look at most NBA games, it's terrible. I mean, if you just look at it, it's all jumpers. Kids are just hoisting up shots. I know they want to entertain, but it's terrible.
Right.
Marcus and Robert, personal question. When the last time y'all played a pickup game with basketball? Oh, man, I played about 3 months ago. I played with my son. That's when I had messed my finger up. It's back right now, though. I kind of total ligament in my finger. I was playing with my son now. And guess what? It wasn't even during the game.
Oh,
I'm sitting over there talking to somebody. The ball come off the rim, bam, hit my finger. I like it. And I had that little splint on that, but I'm looking to get back. I want to play a little bit more.
Oh, no, I haven't, Jeanette. I haven't played pickup ball in a long time. And the reason why, I don't want to wake up the next day in pain. I really don't. I don't want to wake up with my knees, my ankles, my back, my arms, my shoulders. I don't want to wake up like that. You know, I want to go out and teach the game. I want to be able to pass the ball to the kids. I want to be able to do a little slight jog and get the rebound. So I'm trying to keep in shape that way. So giving back. But if I'm hurt, if I go play the pickup game, we all know who play basketball, how we feel when we get on that court. We like, man, we think we can do the old stuff that we used to do, and we know we can't, right?
Can't.
Right.
Damn sure be trying, though, man.
I know I tried to do my finger roll one time, and I couldn't even get up off the ground, man. I was like, I got up this much off the ground, man. I was like, man, the Liberty sweep roll, I can't do no more.
Hey, man, I want to talk to you real quick about that, man. I was shocked, boy. I watched your doggone highlight reel. Like, I hadn't watched it in totality. And, man, Lib, I tell you, was something special, boy. I was like, look at my man Lib out here throwing these fancy-ass Magic Johnson passes, jumping in the air. I'm like, you can do it all, G. Yeah. But could you imagine if you'd have went to UNLV at the point guard, if you'd have went to – but not, we don't want to go there because we always talk about that.
Yeah,
that's man, crazy, though.
Yeah, man.
It's stuff that you was doing.
It's what they doing now, right, Bob? Think about this. What they doing now with handlers and all that, right? That if I had that handler and that handler was saying, you know what, man, you going here because this is what fits your style more. Yeah. Right. And I
posted that. And I posted that on my page. I posted that. I said I wish Lib had different handlers.
Well, we all get paid, you know, like if that's what it is, if it's gonna be a bag, we all get paid because I'm gonna help you get to where you need to go. Right.
Right.
And Syracuse was high on my list, but UNLV would have been special. UCLA would have been special because that was more.
You would have been with O'Bannon now?
No, they're younger than me. They're younger than me.
But I was just looking at your video, boy.
I would have been with Pooh Richardson.
Boy, if you'd have went to UNLV with that shit you was doing, goddamn it,
right?
Motherfuckers would have been wearing your shoes, G. I put that on my mama and my dead homies. I was like, look at this nigga, man. You coming down, jumping over the top of my fucking coming around. I didn't even know you had all that shit. Good show today, guys, as always. Been a minute as I was coaching high school ball down in Louisiana, but I'm always gathering knowledge to pass on to my guys. Yeah, man, make sure you listen to me because I did it on every level.
Oh, man, I wish I knew who that was, man, because...
Yeah, drop your name. Tell him to drop his name in the chat.
Yeah. All right, somebody... what else? We got some more. Liberty was Kobe with Iceman flavor in his package. Man, I appreciate that.
Put that up there.
I appreciate that.
Bro, for real, man. I'm telling you, man. If y'all go to All Ball Chicago YouTube page, if you go all the way to the end at the beginning where Liv got his video up, check that goddamn video out, man. He was narrating. I was just so be sitting in the house the other night. I was just looking through and I saw it.
Right.
I set up like, I'm like, damn, Liv was fucking motherfuckers up. You know, I was like, I really didn't realize that you had that much shit. So I left you a message, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I said, damn, Liv, you open this motherfucker. Because when I saw you,
and what did I say?
Motherfucker, you surprised?
I'm out there training stuff, and I see you calling me twice. I said, let me answer this phone. Man, I said, man, are you surprised, mama? I said, bye, boy, I'm gone. Oh, boy.
Oh, shit. What age bracket did you start seeing decline in your jumping and quickness, Liv?
Oh, man, shoot. When I would say, man, 30, 32-ish, you know, I started seeing the difference. Like, man, I can't jump as high. I mean, I still was jumping, but it wasn't as high, you know.
It was with ease.
Yeah, it wasn't with ease. I was struggling a little bit sometimes, but then you had those days when you were straight. You was like, man, I'm straight. I can do it. I can do it. Right.
But one thing you could always do was what?
Finger roll. Finger roll, baby. And I got that from George Gervin, man. Watching George Gervin, man, and seeing him finger roll. And I didn't have big hands, so that's why I flicked it, right?
Right.
But I flicked it with the ball being controlled still. And that was the secret to that sweet
finger roll.
I call it Sweet Liberty's finger roll. Right. I gave it a nickname. I said, that sweet roll. You want that Sweet Liberty roll? You can get it.
Whatever happened to the finger roll? It's gone. You don't even see it.
And it was finesse. People don't like that finesse, man. They like to see people getting dunked on and all that.
The dudes would come down on the break and act like they finna dunk and just rolling and go right past the rim. Like, I ain't even finna dunk this. Y'all thought I finna dunk and I'm gone.
Man, that's how it was, man. That's how it was. But yeah, man, it's wait. Who's got this question, Bob?
Libby, you should have someone go through your VHS tapes and transfer them to maybe YouTube and Pro Tryout highlights. Hey, let these young guys know who you was. I think all your
I agree.
1980s, 90s players got shit on the VHS.
Yeah,
man, you just can't find it. Who ball a scoop? Somebody's ordering this shit.
You know what was gonna happen, and I'm gonna tell you, Chucky Vision is gonna come out with a tape, and he's gonna put it out and make a documentary. I already know it's in the works, and I'm gonna be part of that. You're gonna see some things that you probably never seen before. I'm just saying it.
So you're gonna see some things that no man has ever seen.
Man. Have you seen somebody finger roll from the free throw line yet, Bob?
No.
Come on, man.
I've seen plenty of people jump from. No, I've seen people try to jump. Well, it was a dude, man, when I was at Jackson State named Dion Myrick. He was from LA. And they called him LA, man. He used to jump from the free throw line with khakis on, dunking the ball. Who is y'all dream guest for the show and anyone upcoming guest? Dream guest is definitely Michael Jordan. We're working on Michael Jordan right now. Believe it or not, we know somebody close to him. And Mike loved Marcus. He been knowing Marcus since he was a young buck. So he might do it for us. So we looking to potentially get MJ on. But
well, mine would be, I got a bunch of them. I want George Gervin. I would like to have George Gervin. I would like to have Magic Johnson. I would like to have the captain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I would like to have Nate, Tiny Archibald. You know, I would like to have Larry Bird. Can I keep going? You know,
keep going. Julius Erving,
Julius Erving, Dr. J. Those are the people, man, that if we can come on to our show and share their upbringing, how the game has transformed to what it is today. When they were playing, I would love to hear their thoughts and what they think about today's game. But
I want to see Mo Cheeks, man.
Maurice Cheeks, another Chicago legend on the basketball side, and now was coaching with the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, that would be great to have Mo Cheeks on too. So we working on some things. Pooh Richardson, I know someone mentioned it on our timeline. I didn't get a chance to post it. Pooh Richardson and Mateen Cleaves. Well, I didn't reach back out to Mateen Cleaves again just to see if he wanted to come back on, because I knew he said he had some obligations that he had earlier, so he couldn't come on. So we definitely doing our part over here. We can't force anybody to come on. They have to want to come on. So we did reach out to Mateen Cleaves, and I'm gonna reach back out to Pooh Richardson.
I'm gonna try to track Lindsey down too. I'm trying to get Lindsey hung on.
Oh, and Mitchell Wiggins. If I could get some kind of contact, I don't think Mitchell is on social media. Mitchell Wiggins is the young fella for the Golden State Warriors' father.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it's like 5 kids in there right now whose dad played. They played with LeBron.
Yeah. So
you want to talk about that real quick about LeBron and the Lakers right now? The Lakers and AD with LeBron being down. How did you feel?
Let me talk about that. But Bob, I saw a question and I wanted to post it. Okay. Somebody was saying about, and you mentioned it too, about LeBron James being better than somebody in the NBA. Somebody posted that.
His son.
Yeah, LeBron James. They said LeBron James came out publicly and said his son is better than some guys that's playing in NBA right now.
I ain't see that.
Here go right here.
Did LeBron say his son was better than a lot of these bums in the NBA? Oh God. I ain't see that run, but I wouldn't be surprised. And LeBron is doing the right thing. He's hyping his son up because, like Lib, you always allude to, these teams and these colleges are recruiting based on popularity. Yeah. And if LeBron's son can get 5 to 20 million followers, that team is on that, they're going to follow him. It's all it damn near ain't got nothing to do with talent no more, big dog.
Yeah.
It got a little bit to do with talent. But following, man.
I can't hate on that, promoting your son. But I think that kid Mikey Williams was pretty doggone good. He got left off that McDonald All-American team. But yeah, let's go back to that question that you had mentioned about the Lakers and what they're doing now since LeBron James has suffered that injury. And
yeah, you were saying
now, now AD is the head of the
head of the snake.
The head of the snake.
And you were saying basically it looked like AD seemed a little happier getting that ball because each time Bron went down this year, AD's numbers went up.
Yeah. So it's Patrick Beverly said it, and I think they said Russell said something that y'all think is us. It's bigger than that, right? They didn't come out and say what the problem was, but we're assuming that we know, so we fill in the blanks, right? AD is playing, great, and the Lakers are now in that 9th spot, right? They're in that 9th spot, so they are definitely in the playoffs. If the playoffs, the season would end today. Do they have some more work to do? Yes. So my thing is, do we think that when LeBron James come back, right? Will this team still be gelling the way they gelling and playing and with that excitement and all that they're having right now? Because it looks like they're having fun playing.
They were playing pretty good before Bron got hurt too, though. Because remember they had got those new additions. So they were playing pretty good before Bron got hurt. It's just one thing. It's kind of like fool's gold to some degree, maybe. The star player goes down, the team start playing well. But they never able to get over the hump without those guys. Kind of like when Mike went down. And the Bulls want to win that title so damn bad when Mike went down, when Mike was out the league. You need that guy. You need Bron.
I think it's tension, though, right? When you playing with a superstar, you feel that I got to let the superstar do his thing, right?
Bron, AD ain't no superstar?
No. I'm not talking about AD. I'm talking about AD needs somebody to give him the ball.
Yeah.
Right. So AD needs somebody to give him the basketball. Right. I'm saying when you have a super mega star like LeBron James, and then you got other players that's not known as the superstar, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the complementary players, right?
Right.
They're gonna defer the ball to him. But now he's not there. They hooping. They playing, they moving the ball, they sharing, they dunking, they doing all this stuff now. I'm not saying LeBron James is not a great player. I just think that when you have that much power, and that's even over coaches, that it's hard for any player to play for them. You know, to play like they're capable of playing because of what the backlash that they might get behind it.
Right. I agree. Yeah, it's kind of like being stagnant, man, playing with those type of guys, man.
Yeah. So I think you just got to understand if LeBron comes back, maybe LeBron should say, you know what, man, y'all been playing well. Let me spot in a little bit and here and there, and y'all keep doing what y'all doing. And once I get back to full swing, then we can really do some damage, right?
You think Bron playing hurt?
No, I don't think he's playing hurt. I think he's actually probably is hurt. But you think about how the Lakers are playing now with the ball being moved, and now AD, because we all know when you have an inside presence, the game becomes a little easier for the perimeter players, right? And I think AD has both, though. That's the good thing about Anthony Davis is he can do both. He can shoot the three, and I can post you up and get mine. But he also plays defense, and he blocks shots, and he's rebounding. I mean, he's doing what he was doing when he was with the Pelicans right now, you know, and that's what they want to see. But I just think he doesn't even know when can he score and when can he not score because of LeBron James. That's just my personal opinion. I think that's what's the case was happening.
Yeah, man, it's a lot, man. I tell you, it's a lot, man. And my thing is, like, back then we just played ball, man. Just so much stuff. I think if they didn't have social media and all this stuff, I think these guys would be fine. I just think social media kind of amps them up a little bit more into thinking that they more than this and more than that.
Yeah, I don't know, and I can't really like put my hand on it like but I do know when you play basketball, the more you can move it, the more touches, the more people can feel it, the more people want to play, right? But if I just hold the ball and I'm just sitting there watching, like, man, what are you gonna do? You know, people used to say that about me in high school. They're like, man, you'll never pass the damn ball, right? But Bob, I wasn't playing around with it. I didn't try to shake and bake and all that. I was doing one move, 1 2 1 2 1 2 dribbles, and I'm either shooting it or I'm passing it.
Right.
You got so many people now that's ball dominant that they can't play without it. You know, and I think when you were little, you taught the game the right way.
Yeah, starting out.
Yeah, how to move, how to make good cuts, how to pass the ball, and how to make the pass, the right pass at the right time, knowing when to shoot, knowing when to pass. That's out the window now. You know, with a lot of cats, because they were like, man, oh, I blew by you, right? Let me put my dribble retreat in and go behind my back and between my legs again, right? and that to me is messing up the game, man.
The dribble retreat.
Oh, the dribble retreat. Like, let me get out of there. Oh, let me put him on blast again. He didn't see that move. Let me hit him again. Wop, wop, wop. Now I'm gonna put the wraparound on him. And man, I'm like,
overkill.
Oh,
overkill.
Man.
No.
Somebody said I don't blame social media, Bob. I blame yours. Yeah.
They said they don't blame social media. They blame what? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's definitely that. It's because social media has done nothing but add to a lot of the people's success out here. So it's a gift and a curse, and it's all about how you use it. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Okay, so we talked about the Lakers. Let's talk about the Warriors. What's going on with the Warriors? Have you been watching? I've been
following them, man. I'm going to tell you, man, I got the Warriors, man, coming out of the West.
You got the Warriors coming out the West?
Because these teams are not disciplined enough to play defense against that doggone offense, you know, over the course of a 7-game series. They wear you down with the cuts and the back door and the movement and all of that. And right now, that's what's winning. I don't see a team in the West beating them. I don't know who can beat them in the West. The Clippers ain't gonna beat them. The Clippers is, oh my God. Tyronn Lue don't know what to do with that team. They ain't won a game since Russ been over there.
So you think that was a bad move?
I don't know. Is Russ washed up or what? I can't blame it on Russ. Because Russ still the same Russ.
That ain't what I asked you.
I think he should have came to Chicago, man. I wanted him in Chicago.
So Russell had a great run, right? When he was averaging those triple doubles. And I think people want to see that same Russell. And when you don't see that same Russell, we start to what? Pick at his game. Oh, he can't shoot. We been knew that he couldn't shoot the long ball.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's call it what it is, right? Russell is and was a hell of a basketball player.
He's on the decline?
Yeah, man. I think he's on his way down, man.
How old is he now? 36?
That's he came in, what? Did he leave out his freshman year at UCLA or sophomore year?
Sophomore.
I think it was a sophomore year, right? So you got to think all those games, man, it's wear and tear on his body.
Yeah, and he played at a very high level.
Yeah, man. He's an energy. He played off energy, you know. Yeah. So the older you get, man, it's going to catch up with you eventually, man. And I think we got so accustomed to him averaging triple doubles that we thought we're going to still see that forever.
Yeah.
And that's not the case, man. So big ups to him that he still want to play the game, you know, but it's going to come a time when he says, you know what, I can't do it no more. You know, and that's going to be totally up to him or a team that's going to say you can't do it no more. You're going to have to come out. You're going to have to come off the bench and be a mentor.
Yeah,
kind of like
and most of them guys don't want to do
it. Kind of like your boy in Miami. He did it for how many years?
Is he finally gone?
He said he's going to retire after this year.
Good, because Haslam, them young boys don't want to hear all that stuff you be talking about,
bro. Right.
He had 40 last night. That's what I'm saying, man. Golden State gonna bring the same thing, and I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if they won it again this year. They just a fine old machine, man.
Well, Pooh said she wanted to what? She says post Dion Hoop page comment, and this is the comment I have on him. It's the only comment I have.
Y'all talking about the Lakers who are in the play-in game. What about the Suns, Nuggets, Celtics, the good teams? I know LeBron and Lakers big topper, but we get hyped when they win 2 or 3 in a row and still in the playing game. You right. Oh, man. I don't trust the Nuggets. I'm going to start with that. Well, I know y'all like them.
Even this, Dion, Dallas. Nobody's talking about the Dallas Mavericks either. Go ahead, Bob. Talk about what you.
I don't trust them. I don't trust Denver. I just feel like they like the Buffalo Bills of back in the days. Remember Buffalo Bills with Thurman Thomas now? They always be good. Just good enough, but don't be good enough.
Right.
Because Kendrick Perkins made a very valid statement, and I put it up on my page. He said, man, it's only been 3 MVPs in the history of the league to not be in the top 10 in scoring. And that's Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, and Jokic. Now, he said, I'm tired of y'all moving the goalposts for certain people when it's time to be MVP. He said, now, is this real or is it Uchiwali? And he got a point.
Yeah, I mean, your boy over there at the Philly is playing his ass off.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah, man. I think
he should have been the MVP, but they just going with Jokic, man. And Jokic is not even top 10 in scoring.
I think Joel Embiid's going to get it this year. That's just my personal opinion. Between him and Jason Tatum, I think those are the two guys.
Giannis been killing too.
But I think they're going to look at Giannis as
Liv, I hate to say it, they're gonna give it to they're gonna give it to Jokic again, bro. It's only been 3 times. Somebody got it 3 times in a row.
Man, I'm telling you, Joel Embiid gonna get it. I'm riding with him, man.
I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. KD over there with Phoenix. I mean, they rolling. They ain't lost a game yet. And you're going to have trouble with him and Book, man. So
Now, did you hear something about that happened?
what happened with Kendrick Perkins and J.J. Redick?
I didn't
Oh,
hear
yeah,
that.
Kendrick Perkins, he basically went in on J.J. Redick. I saw some of it. Yeah, because he was just like, they always moving the goalposts when it come to the white guys in the NBA. And J.J. Redick didn't like it. What else did you see, Pooh? Because that's what I saw. He was like, and it's true. It's only been, how did Steve Nash beat Kobe Bryant out in the MVP that year? Remember, Kobe Bryant had the best numbers in the league.
Right.
You know, it's just almost like they make it. So y'all blaming Westbrook. I think Paul George always inconsistent. Kawhi Leonard missed every other game, but Clippers have won 10 or 15 before Russ came. What y'all think about Durant and the Suns? I think the Suns is going to be right there. I'm worried about injury, the injury bug with them, because they get hurt every year. Somebody gets hurt with CP3 them every year. And I heard they're trying to get Derrick Rose.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah, they want to get Derrick Rose.
Over with the Suns.
Yeah, but Derrick Rose don't want to take the buyout. He want all his bread.
Yeah, I like Phoenix. I mean, you have another scorer that also plays defense. Kevin Durant. People don't talk about it, but he plays defense, man. He blocks shots and get good rebounds for his height, and he can shoot that long ball. But he also loves the midi. He can get you in that low post too. So I'm liking the Suns. I'm also liking what I see in Dallas a little bit, you know. And we can't not forget about Boston, you know, what Boston, the way those young Tatum and Brown is playing. I mean,
I agree.
It's gonna be very interesting when it comes down to these playoffs. When we start watching, that's when I think basketball, the NBA basketball, gets a little bit more exciting because of the playoffs, and we want to see, you know, what they really about, what the Lakers really gonna do if they in that play-in game. You know, what's gonna happen with Dallas and Kyrie and Luka? How they gonna, you know, in the playoffs? Who gonna step up and really, you know, try to do their thing and take over these games, because they can't keep just deferring it to each other all the time. Somebody's going to have to step up and be that big dog.
I agree.
Right. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. And then we got Philly. Philly's been, you know, playing well too. I think James Harden.
So those are the big four then, right?
I think James Harden is finally, you know, like buying into what Doc Rivers is saying, you know, which is, let's get the ball in the big fella. Let's play off the big fella, you know. So I think
because nobody's had a greater fall from grace than James Harden. Boy, that boy used to be in Houston putting up buckets.
Right.
Charles Barkley said Kendrick Person got ESPN disease. I don't know what that is.
We don't either. We don't need it. Pooh. We don't know that one.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, Chris Paul hamstrings are waiting for May.
Chris Paul hamstrings are waiting for May so they can have their annual snap. Adrian Diaz, you ain't lying.
So that's why they probably need Derrick Rose then, huh?
Man, could you imagine putting D Rose, man, with Booker and KD? Man, they raising the banner this year. I can say that. If you give me a 70% D Rose,
right?
I like the Knicks, man. And Liv don't really like big fella. He didn't like him too much.
Who?
Big lefty, Randall. Yeah,
I didn't never tell you I didn't like Randall.
You thought he shot too many jumpers.
Yeah.
Something like that,
yeah,
right?
I did. Yeah, I did say that. But that's the way the game is, though, anyway, though, Bob. But I thought I think he could be more effective because he plays that bully ball a little bit, like going to the basket.
How tall is he?
I think he's 6'8", 6'9", maybe.
He looks
or tall. He might be 6'10", I don't know. But I'm saying he's having a great year too this year. I mean, he's playing pretty good basketball, and they won 8, 9 in a row. They just lost the last game, But
New York better not get in the playoffs. They better not make it too far. More of them New Yorkers can't wait. Could you imagine, Liv? We're not going to be able to shut them up if they ever get relevant again. Because New York basketball been quieter than a mouse pissing on cotton. Y'all ain't did nothing in New York.
Man, but shit, what's their
We ain't
record?
did nothing either, though. To Chicago.
No, man, Chicago ain't did nothing in a while since Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what's the Knicks, what's their standings.
My phone died, man. Let my
Oh, New York going to the playoff probably.
What, they in the fifth spot?
They're in fifth spot.
Mm-hmm. Tibbs thought he was finna get fired. I saw the headline. He was talking about that. He thought they was finna fire him this year.
Well, they got a nice point guard over there, though, man. You got to think about Brunson he's a solid point guard that's not gonna hurt you. He's only gonna make you, better, And I think that's what he's doing. She said, "Do y'all know what's the deal with Andrew Wiggins? What's going on?"
He was hurt though, Miko. He's hurt right now. But you know what? He'll be back. They definitely ain't trading him. He a very integral piece to that Golden State run. And he's the same age as Jabari and the other guy. And that's why, when I see Aaron Gordon and Andrew Wiggins, and I don't see Jabari, and I saw all three of them at the McDonald's All-American game that year. They was tied to each other's hips.
Mm-hmm.
Our guy's not there. He can help a team. I know Jabari can help a team, but that's a whole nother story. Andrew Wiggins, man, is a gamer, man. He'll be back. Golden State's medical staff is amazing. You see how quick those guys recover. That's why they're saying somebody needs to sue the Chicago Bulls medical staff because of what's happening with Ball. Now, Warriors definitely they can win without Wiggins. They need for his personal situation to be resolved that he can get back on the court. Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on in his personal life.
Right. So who you say could get back?
Jabari.
Jabari, that situation, man. I really don't know why he's not getting the opportunity to be, because I definitely know he can be a good guy that's coming off the bench that can give you some scoring power. But again,
I know it's got to be rough for him to watch Gordon and Wiggins, though.
Right. Yep.
What else you got there? Lakers will have won titles if they kept Ball, Ingram, Big Randall, and Kuzma. Hey, Demetrius, I agree with you on that, man. I mean, the maturity of those guys, especially once it seemed like they matured a little bit faster once they got away from Bron, though. But no, when Bron was there, though, they was playing hot potato ball.
Yeah. Well, no, you said this. This is what I wanted to, because now that you talking more about Ball, you said they wanted to sue
They said somebody needed to sue the Chicago Bulls medical staff.
But why? Think about this. Because he could have been damaged goods already before he got there, right? We don't know. We don't know really what happened, right? I remember the guy who came out publicly and said something about him a long time ago. I think it was because of the deals that they had. Remember that the BBB brand when they broke up, he came out publicly and started talking about it. Like, man, he's been like that, man. His knees been hurting, this and that.
Right.
So we just don't know, man. Like, I would love to see that young man play again, but it doesn't look too good right now.
It don't look good at all, man. Can you hear me because my screen froze up?
Yeah, I can hear you, but your eyes are rolled up in the back of your head.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate, and I know somebody said something to me the other day. They was like, "Bob, I think that these guys are doing too much training, and that's why they're getting injured so much." On top of the fact,
he's gone. I think his phone died. But Jabari Parker, I think, had a lot of injuries, but this is what hype baller. Hoops, Jabari Parker, I think had a lot of injuries, but then I thought he got in great shape with Boston. But it seems like no one want to take a chance on him. Yeah, but I wonder why. That's the question. I wonder why that because he's still playing pickup basketball in Chicago, being ready just in case he gets that call, so he can get an opportunity to play in the NBA. It's got to be something more than that we don't know, and no one's really sharing that information. So I just wish and I pray that he gets an opportunity to get back in there because he's still young. He's still a young uh, basketball player that's trying to still play the game. So I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, I agree with you, high baller hoops. Jabari Parker seems like a nice kid. He is a nice kid, and I agree with you on that. I don't think it's his character at all. Sean Carter says he thinks it's because he doesn't play no defense. So I really don't know what's the case is. I know he can play team defense. I think people get by with playing just team defense. Now, is he locking up his guy one-on-one? I don't think so, but I know he plays, good team defense. Oh, he's back. He's back.
Talking about our guy Jabari.
Yeah. We was just trying to figure out why. Oh,
I think he might be playing with a black ball too.
That's what we just. I mentioned that. Like, it's got to be something more than that. But
I haven't been around. I've been around for a few years, but I think he ranks up there, man, in the top. I'm not gonna make him number one because there's too many other guys that led the foundation. The Hambricks, the Cox, the Pittmans, the Redmonds, all of those guys laid the foundation.
It's always what we said. It's what you see now, right? So we see Robert doing his thing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Robert is doing a great job in what he's doing now.
Absolutely.
Was it great coaches, or is the game changed a lot, right? So all those
has changed.
So think about all those powerhouses that was back in the day. It's no longer powerhouses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got Simeon, who's still relevant to, my generation, this generation. They still, moving the stick, so to speak, right? So King High School at one time was running the city.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta call it what it is, right? At one time, every other year, King or Simeon was winning the city or state championship, right?
Every year.
Every other year, or and sometimes King won it back to back, and then Simeon won it back to back. So it was always like that,
Yeah.
Well, somebody said, "Man, Diet is in the red now." What? I didn't even.
Oh wow.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't even.
I know they rebuilt that place.
Right.
Diet is a really good technical school or something like that.
Is that right? Is that right? That's right. Yeah, man. So I give mad props to Robert, Smith, and hopefully Simeon legacy can continue, with the next coach who's in line. Who you say the next coach may be?
Tim Flowers,
who was,
played with Team Derrick Rose,
right?
And I watched him the other night, and I saw Rob kind of like the old Kung Fu Zen master, kind of like sitting back. You remember the karate movie, the dude with the long beard? He would let his young pupil go out there, and I saw Rob kind of like taking the back seat a little bit, letting Tim do his thing, and I think they've been together for quite some time. So, shout out to all these coaches that get a time to help our young people, boys and girls, to just be able to go out there and learn how to just have fun playing basketball. Because it's a beautiful game, man. And it's a team sport. You meet a lot of good people through it. And it's just a great game. Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah.
Lefty Boy posted a doggone post on his page with the little guard from Downers Grove saying the white kids in Downers Grove said that we're not scared of the city schools no more.
Oh, wow.
Lefty Boy posted that. And last year, Glenbard East, they won it. and that was a team with predominantly white. And we got to take the color out of basketball because the game is it has evolved. It's everybody's game. What do y'all say to a lot of youngins about the 1980s and the 90s players couldn't hang in 2023 NBA? They're talking outside of the star players. They say players are faster, bigger, stronger, but it's true. But they make it like 80s and 90s was bomb. I agree, more athletes now, but 80s and 90s had fast, quick players with bounce. I think it was just as much talent in the 80s and 90s as it is right now. The game was played different. It was more physical, but they didn't allow the big men to shoot threes and do all that extra stuff. You know what I'm saying, Liv? So you had a specialist that shot threes. So it's just evolution. And Gilbert Arenas be talking out the side of his neck. I see him always talking about. He talking about, man, these young players with a mollywob will whoop these old guys and all that.
No, it's just what today's athletes have, right, that they can actually get to with no problem because they're making a whole lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody in the 80s wasn't making crazy money like they're making right now. So you couldn't go out and get a trainer. Like you only had select. Michael Jordan had a trainer. Mm-hmm. People know that, right? My man, what was his name? I can't think of his name now. Tim Grover. Tim Grover was Michael. He was the what you see now, what everybody's doing. He was doing that way back. So he went to school to understand the body. So he knew the bodies and how the body parts supposed to move. And he was teaching and he was developing Michael in those fast twitch muscles, but everybody couldn't pay for that. That costs a lot of bread. But now this generation, everybody can pay for that, right? That if they want to get a trainer to teach them, that fast twitch, how can I get my muscles to move and react quick? That's why these guys are so explosive now, right? Mm-hmm. It's not that the guys back in the 80s were bad. It's just they didn't have a lot of things at their disposal that these young kids have today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some of these people, they ain't Tim Grover, they Jim Grover.
That's another person I think we should try to go out to Tim Grover and get Tim Grover on our show because
I think he'll do it, Liv. You got to reach out to him though. Matter of fact, I got his email. I'll copy you in and put the logo in there, and we'll invite him on and see what he say. Because I'm sure you've been down there when he first opened up the Attack, right?
Yeah, I know. I actually worked out with Tim, and I told him, I said, man, I can't pay that.
Yeah, he had everybody down there for a minute, man.
It was Nick and Kendall working out with him, and Nick, I stayed at Nick's house that day, and Nick was like, man, I'm going to work out. You want to go? And I was like, yeah, I'll go with you, man. And I'm watching them go through these workouts. I'm like, damn. And Tim was like, man, you might as well do it too. And then they tried to get me to do the contract with him later on. And I was like, Tim, how much you charge? He told me that number. I said, man, I can't afford that, man.
No, I heard it was up to what was it like $5,000 to $10,000 a session, man. Who the hell? How much could you possibly tell me, man?
I couldn't do it, man.
And plus, you was killing them, and they going to him. No, I'm just kidding.
But I think getting him on because he worked with Mike, he worked with Kobe. He worked with the elite guys that was doing their thing in the NBA. So I would love to hear some of the stories that he would have to share. With our audience.
Yeah, that'd be dope, man.
Who Baller Scoop? We already reached out. So the guys that y'all are asking us to reach out to, we already reached out. Will Bynum, we reached out to. Sean Dockery, we reached out to. We cannot force these guys to be on the show. I want y'all to know that. We cannot force them to come on the show. They have to want to come on, man, and share their story. But we reached out to them.
And the beauty of it is that, man, we always manage to get somebody.
Yeah.
And we're grateful for the people who do come on. And when Will and all of them get ready to come, we welcome them with open arms. Yeah. Will Bynum, one of my favorite guys. So
we're not saying we're not gonna take them when they decide to come on, but we did extend that, to
that olive leaf, man,
to come on, the show. And I actually talked to both of them, so we'll see. Yeah, Marcus, before y'all leave, let's see what she says.
Marcus, before y'all leave, did or have you ever played pickup ball or pro-am with or against Michael Jordan?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Many times.
Mika Boot, hey, you got to give up more than that before we get off.
No. I played.
Tell her the story that you told your boy behind the scene when Mike gave you his number.
Yeah, no, I played against Mike many times in pickup games at Moody, where the place we used to go, Moody Bible. Scottie Pippen was there too, so we played, and no, it was exciting. But no, I did play on the same team as Mike in the Pro-Am, and that team was stacked, man. We had Terry Cummins, Mike, Craig Hodges, myself, Lavertus Robinson. We was all on that team.
Wow.
And I remember Michael Jordan saying, "Man, we was up by so many points because we had airness on our team." And Mike gets out of the game and he says, "Put Liberty in." He's telling the coach, "Put Liberty in for me." And I'm like, look at Mike sticking up for me, like telling this young buck to go in. So, and after the game, he actually said, he was in a separate locker room and he was like, "Tell Liberty, to come over here." So I go over there and I'm talking and he's like, "Man, if you ever need something, man, here's my number." And I'm looking at the number. I'm like, "Man, what I need with this for, man? So you can't get my number." I'm like, "Man, I'm at King High School, man. We done won way more games than the Bulls. Man, what you talking about?"
I love this fool tell that story.
But on the serious side, man, Mike, he gave me the number, man, and I never used it, man. And I kick myself to this day because I could have been part of Mike's, crew that helped develop and got me to where I needed to be. But
you still got there. But
yeah,
I know. But I know what you're saying though.
Yeah, so much I could have learned. I could have learned from him. I was a senior in high school.
Right, and he was in the league. He had been in the league about 3 years by that time.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I could have learned a lot from Mike, man, at that time. But no, man, but it was great to have an opportunity to play and watch him play and watch how hard he played. Like when he goes to those games, he wasn't playing around. He was playing hard. And I'm like, wow.
He was playing like it was his last game.
Man, dude. He took it personal because I remember one game, him and Kenny Battle got into it. And I think Kenny Battle dunked one. And, man, Mike came back down. It seemed like Mike was like, "I'm going to take this game over every time." Like flying through there, that tongue come out, dunking, throwing look-away passes, playing D'ing up people. Like, man, basically got in Kenny Battle, space. Like, dude, you ain't going by me.
You can't even put it down.
Man,
you don't even think about it.
And Kenny Battle wasn't no joke when he was that young too, man. Kenny Battle he would fly through that air too, boy.
Yeah, with the greatest of ease.
Right. And somebody said, "I heard Michael Jordan came late to a Pro-Am and still had 50."
Well, that was common for guys like
him. No, right? It was everybody. Like the guys like a Mark Aguirre, Mark would do it. JJ Anderson would do it. They would come and put on a show, man. For
Alfred Hughes too. People don't remember Alfred Hughes used to get buckets like a punk. That's why I thought he was gonna be like a Mark Aguirre when he got to the league because he went to San Antonio, right?
Yeah. So man, it was a great show, Bob, man. So
absolutely, man. And I'm gonna give me some tea.
Yeah. So man, big shout out to the people, man. Shout them out for
my phone died, but Bo Rap.
But Hoop Baller School.
Hoop Baller School. All the ladies. I'm not Courtney.
Adrian Diaz.
All of y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to the show, man.
Your boy Demetrius was on. I didn't even know Demetrius came on, man.
Demetrius. Man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. My man Jamar, man, with JD Training Academy, man, that's helping these kids. Make sure y'all swing over there to his Instagram and check out JD Academy. He got a Brazilian team that he's trying to get guys from up here to be able to give them an opportunity to play ball, man. And we're not getting those opportunities. He's done that. So make sure y'all swing over there.
Yeah. And before we get up out of here, Bob, I'd leave some words for our listeners, man. Let's not give up on each other, man. Black people, we need to stick together and stop tearing each other down. Yes, JaMorant went through something, but that's not up to us to tear that young man down. Let's try to find a way that we can all help each other become successful and business like-minded and help our community. That's what it should be about.
That's what's up.
All right, Bob. So, man, you have a good day, Bob. Stay out of trouble. You know,
no more yoga pictures, Laird. No more yoga pictures.
Yeah, that's what I said. Quit throwing your pictures up there, man. Like that, man. You never know who's watching you, man. So make sure you take care of yourself, man, and be safe out there in those streets, man.
You too, big fella, man. Be good, man. All ball Chicago. We up out of here.
Peace.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching.
Chicago, all ball, Chi-Town.